Hello, Taz. Hi.
Hi, Sonia. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Oh my God, it's such always a pleasure. And we have so much to share in these incredible times of, just so much going on the planet energetically. And we're talking today about digestion. So I know, Taz, that you have a background in having some digestive issue that were happening a while ago, and then you were looking for solutions. And I'd like you to talk a little bit more about this so we could learn more about digestive issues and what we could do about those.
Absolutely, Sonia. So I've been going through all of these chronic illnesses for years, and they started as young as high school. You know what? Maybe even before that, from heartburn, really, really bad heartburn, to IBS, digestive issues, always that bloatingness that, you know what? Honestly, I thought it was part of my body. I didn't know it was anything abnormal. I never knew it was anything that I honestly needed to address. I just thought, this is how I'm made. This is how I'm brought into the world. Maybe it's how my body works.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And then, so what led you on that path of discovering what you could do about it?
Okay, so during high school, I'm personality-wise an overachiever. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say it. That is my personality. And when it comes with that, the natural choice, the natural drug of choice is caffeine. Okay. So I would have a lot of caffeine because I thought I was made to believe that the only way to be productive is to fuel my body with coffee,
Wow.
right?
Yeah. Mm. Oh my God, did we ever grow up with that? And it's still very, very prevalent in our society. Like you just seeing people lining up to get their morning coffee at like Tim Hortons or McDonald's or whatever. And there's still so many people doing that, or Starbucks or these, and you're just like, wow, like there's still a lot of people that's their like drug. I hate to say that, but it is definitely very addictive, and so it causes IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. And so, yes, and tell me, so what are the symptoms of that? What happens when you have that?
Okay, before I get into the symptoms, I just wanted to mention, we get so subtly
Subtly?
programmed
Mm-hmm.
programmed to every single thing in our environment. So what I was noticing as well, like now as an adult with my kids, I rewatch some programs that I used to watch when I was at that age, right? And
Mm-hmm.
only today I started recognizing it. I was watching the Gilmore Girls with my kids, and coffee, that's all they did. Coffee, 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 right? They would walk around, they would do everything with coffee. Friends, coffee. Every single thing that we would watch that was being streamed to us was all geared around coffee. So we were programmed by all of these messages that we need coffee to be productive, to survive, to live, to have fun.
Wow, I never noticed that. And I watched those too. That, oh my God, but I mean, I'm not surprised because it's everywhere. Like you say, like the whole using, marketing tools and all this to get, and it's so subtle that you're not even aware of it most of the time. And that's what we're becoming aware, is that the more you become aware, the more you start seeing that it's actually it's insidious. Yeah, it's like everywhere. And it's so for us to kind of break free and find our way, sometimes asked a lot of personal research and a lot of diving deep, into what is causing this, and I know you're a deep diver, Taz, because we have some incredible conversations. So tell me, what brought you into that deep dive into yourself, into your body, and healing it.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's start addressing about awareness. Okay, so the acid, the GERD. So GERD is something that I struggled with for years, and it would only get worse with time. Okay, depending what I'm eating, then it would be worse. I would have trouble sleeping. Okay, so this is what I noticed first. I was having trouble sleeping. So what I started doing, I started elevating my pillow. I started sleeping at an angle because I'm like, that's going to help the acid. I was looking at quick fixes of what I was told I need to look at, right? Elevate your head. This is why, because your sphincter is not closing properly. This is why the acid comes back up. Okay, makes sense, right? So I started addressing my sleep. The quality of my sleep was not good. And you know what else used to happen? I used to wake up in the middle of the night with these pains, with these burning, with a heaviness on my chest that sometimes I thought, is this how women have heart attacks? Does it begin with heartburn?
Oh, wow. Intense. I know that when people have that, thankfully I haven't experienced that in my own life, but I know people that have, and my mother, for example, and she would just, Tums, Tums. She used to take like so many of those, like all the time. And so it would help a little bit. So what is it that's the thing, calcium or something? There's something in it that actually calms a little bit, but of course, that's a quick fix, like anything that's not actually addressing the issue, the underlying issue that is happening. Other than coffee, I know you said coffee, but is there anything else that aggravates this?
Absolutely. Okay, so spicy food aggravates it because you're tearing the intestinal linings, toxic chemicals. And when I'm talking about toxic chemicals, I'm talking about heavy metals, glyphosate, herbicides, pesticides. There's so many that's being sprayed in our soil, in our food. Our food, the quality of our food is not made the same.
No.
It's not made the same the way you use, like, I think it's 30 years ago. The quality of our food was completely different. Now we have to look at the mineral density of our food. It has completely changed. So what happens is that our bodies is ingesting all of these toxic chemicals, and it's causing microscopic little holes in our digestive system and in our esophagus. So this is why the sphincter is attracting these acids, right? And then we have to look at acid forming foods.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's, I know that's part of it for sure. And probably everybody's experienced some type of heartburn at certain points after eating certain foods or meals. And, and for some it's strong and for others it's, other issues, but wow. Yeah. So some of the food that is very acidic, well, obviously coffee is right up there as one of the most acidic ones. And any others that are coming at like
But
dairy.
you say something very interesting, Sonia. You said some people experiencing it mildly than people who are experiencing worse, right? You should not be experiencing it at all.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
this is a good point. Right.
Yes.
Because tolerating over, it could be actually, yeah, that's a very good point. It's just that we often address our issues when they become so almost unbearable that that's when we're like, and it happens on so many, when people are depressed, when people are, it happens on so many levels, the emotional, the physical, so, or burnouts, or, people have, there's a lot of, yeah. So this is looking at the holistic being, right? This is what we do in the integrative medicine that, Tas practices and I do as well, and the energy field and all of that. We're going to talk a little bit more about that after. But it's all connected.
You're saying address, but what you are actually meaning is suppress.
Yes, absolutely. Get it out.
We are suppressing all of our symptoms. We are pushing it down. And you know what starts happening? Other issues start happening in our bodies. Right. Migraines, having trouble, constipation, maybe arthritis, different things in our bodies start appearing that we don't even connect it anymore to the heartburn. Could it have been this heartburn? Are you just suppressing it with more Tums? Which we know Tums, this is all sugar and artificial ingredients. This is nothing that's going to be solving the issue. We're not actually addressing anything. So you were talking about food. So food absolutely is the number one thing I would start addressing if you are going through any of these problems. So first of all, start limiting your amount of caffeine. Okay, if you can't take it out all at once, that's okay. It's stages, right? At least let's start limiting to once a day until you can start weaning off. Okay. Number two, one of the most anti-inflammatory foods known to man is dairy.
Inflammatory, you mean? Inflammatory. Not anti-inflammatory, but inflammatory. Yes. Yes.
Inflammatory,
Yes.
which means highly acidic. So when I talk about inflammatory foods, I mean that it is inflammatory. Okay, so dairy causes a lot of inflammation in your body. It causes it in your organs, it causes it in your blood vessels, it causes it in your whole pH of your system. And the body needs to remain in homeostasis. So this is a huge buzzword that so many people are using that they don't fully understand. So what it means is to keep the body in balance, okay? The body has different pHs. And in the stomach, it's acidic, okay? But we have all the intestinal lining and it needs to remain in there. But once we break through the gut permeability, now it's leaching out. Picture this, that now the acid is being mixed with the others. This is why we're feeling this. This is why we're feeling it in our sphincter. We should not be feeling this. We should start addressing these issues because it can lead to other very bigger illnesses down the line. And I love how heartburn shows up right away to get our attention, to be like, oh, I need to address this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The whole food system thing, I studied that for most of my life. I'm an environmental geographer, and soil is one of the biggest things. And again, you look at the microbiome, which is the soil, and you can look at your own kind of gut as that microbiome. And when you have healthy, we talk a lot about when you have those nutrients for your body, everything is working fine, everything is but if you're out of balance in whatever form, like you were saying, it's just, that's where it's going. And it's that we have to, this is for me the basis of the baseline of everything else in our body, is really looking at it like the soil. When you plant everything, you have healthy plants, you have nutrients, because everything's working beautifully in there. And you do need the bacteria, you do need what we're doing in suppressing and eliminating the bacteria, the good and the bad, by using pesticides and herbicides. And so this is killing, our soils are basically dead. And of course, the reflection of that is affecting our microbiomes on the inside. So as within, so without. And if we look at ourselves as parts of the whole and how everything is interconnected, you can't separate that anymore. And that's what has been very difficult to know this for such a long time, and to see the interconnectedness of biology and, everything that is alive and healthy. And, the probiotics and the prebiotics and how they work symbiotically together to create a healthy person. But if you're not getting enough prebiotics and you're taking your probiotic, which, we can talk about as well, this is going deeper into the gut microbiome, but we always seem to come back to that somehow, because it's where everything happens. And so the glyphosates, as we know, is an extreme toxin that's been, there's an amazing book that you can get free online now, PDF format, The Toxin That Came for Dinner, which is Dave Sandoval's book that he wrote. And he's an activist and has known about all this for a very long time. And he goes into deeper details, so you can look that up if you want more information on that. But really, the toxin that came to dinner is, like, some people are still having this on a daily basis, and that accumulates. Bioaccumulation in your system will start to destroy everything that is healthy. So what we're doing is getting rid of the parasites, the toxins, because why are you losing weight? Why are you not having, a lot of energy? Because if these toxins are still in your body, nothing is being absorbed, nothing is, so you have to bring back the good, healthy biota. The biology has to be functioning again in a very harmonious way. And we do this with getting rid of what we don't want, and then nourishing at the same time. And this is why I love everything with Purium, because you get that together. It's not like you're like, Tas, how difficult it was. If you can tell me, because I know a little bit about how to try to find the solution, and having all these pieces, and trying to go to a natural food store and getting this supplement and this supplement and this herb and this herb, and you're trying to combine, you're doing chemistry with biology, right? So how did you do that? And how did you get to finally, find Purium? Could you talk about that a bit?
Well, I mean, for me, I was the ultimate guinea pig. Okay, so I went through it all. Whenever I encounter someone, they tell me, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing this. I'm like, I tried all of that. I've done it all, right? Because I was always looking for a solution. And what you were talking about, the toxin I came to dinner that Dave Sandoval wrote, well, you know what? This is not an opinion-based book. This is all scientific data book. Every single page is another scientific data. So if you are into the science, understanding how it works, simplified, this is the book for you, right? So how I started discovering things. So the gut microbiome was my first awakening, how the gut is your wheelhouse, right? And we need to start protecting it. So we have good bacteria and we have bad bacteria, exactly how you mentioned. But what happens is that the bad bacteria gets multiplied too rapidly, that the good bacteria does not know how to protect itself against foreign invaders like glyphosate. So when you have glyphosate in your body, it starts changing your microbiota, and it starts causing microscopic holes in your gut intestinal lining. This is what I think we don't understand enough, the microscopic holes. So this makes it difficult for us to absorb nutrients. When we talk about nutrient depletion, nutrient deficiency, this is how. So it doesn't matter how much we think we're eating healthy, our bodies is not absorbing the minerals because our gut microbiome, okay? So we need to repair it. We need to pair it with a good bacteria, a probiotic and a prebiotic, and to rebuild the gut microbiome and to retrain the good bacteria of what to look for. Because when it's so used to having so many foreign invaders, you know what it starts thinking? Okay, oh, that's food. That's what I need to be looking for. Right. It gets confused. So you are retraining it. Now we need to retrain it into the good. Okay, this is chemicals. Start fighting against these ones. These are good things, right? Because we are being exposed to millions of bacteria each and every day. They are not all avoidable, but the really big ones like glyphosate, we have to start rebuilding and training our bodies how to start recognizing it and not to bind to our bodies and not to stay in. Because what happens is that it's a bioaccumulation, so it's a toxic buildup. And until we chelate it out, take it out of the body, it stays. Our body doesn't detoxify it by itself. You know what happens when we have a bioaccumulation? It appears on our skin. At the end, as it's causing so much harm in our body. So let's say you're going through the reflux, let's say you're going through the IBS, let's say you're going through constipation or diarrhea, it can show up in either form, arthritis. Now what happens? Eczema, psoriasis, other issues on your body, right? Sun patches, keto, like there's so many things that you could be going through on your skin, and it starts appearing. Food allergies.
Oh yeah, that's big, huge.
Things you didn't have before starts appearing, right? Exactly. This is why it's a toxic overload.
Exactly. And that's what our planet is experiencing. And we are part of it all. And that's what we are experiencing. And so the more that we detox and other farmers, if you encourage your organic farmers and that are really taking care of the soil, they're doing the work on the external as well as the internal. So they work together in symbiotic relationship. It's like it all goes together. So think about that when, buy your CSA basket, your community supported agriculture, know your farmers around in your region. Like all of these things are just as important as taking care of your individual cell, because we are cells working together to create like an immune system coming together to fight off the parasites and the bacteria. And what's being reflected out there in the world is that we are those warriors that are fighting to protect the life of this planet, and we need to be strong to do that. And the stronger we are, and then together, and we start to vibrate at a higher frequency, and then our immune system, we become the living immune system of the planet. That's what we're doing on a micro, macro, and then it expands out until one day it's healthy again, and the waters are clean, and our soil is clean, and we don't have these two-tiered systems where we have food that is organic and beautiful and has everything for only those that can afford it. And we have, the government is working together with like the whole body. The government is supposed to be the mind of the body. Now we have that is not in harmony with life, and we're healing from that, and we need these new systems, but we need to become that in order to reflect it on the outside. And the more you're healthy, and the more your brain and everything is functioning properly, then you can be in the world as that healthy immune system that is protecting life and having a future for our children and for us, for when we come back, because this is the whole soul part that we don't talk about as well. It's do things that will continue through time and that will heal we're doing the work right now for our future. And that feels really good. That's when you feel in alignment with life. That's when you feel like you have a purpose and you belong to this planet. And yes, sometimes we want to go to another planet and say, this one, I'm done. Like I've had those moments where I'm like, I can't take this anymore. Like this whole war thing going on. But you know what? It's being purged out of our systems. The darkness and the toxins are coming out, and that's not always an enjoyable time. Like creates chaos. Sometimes your body is going through, oh my God, like withdrawal symptoms, and headaches and all of it, like it's coming out. So you go through a process of healing and you have to just move through it and drink lots of pure water and set your, good intentions and be with nature and all these things that we do to heal everything together, like we were talking about the energy field and the biology, because the earth too, she has a magnetosphere and she has a lithosphere and she has the atmosphere, like all of these spheres, we have that as well. So we heal from the inside at the micro, and as we do that, we are participating in healing the macro, and this is just a way. So why not get on this beautiful healing immune system together so that we can be stronger together, and eventually we are part of this beautiful healed earth system that we are participating in every day through our choices, through our thoughts, and through we put our energy and our intention. And so I just it's quite a journey, this whole healing, and all of us are doing it at our own level in our different ways. And sharing is something that Tas is just, if you have any information to heal biologically and on every level, because again, when we're doing it inside, we're also participating in what's going on outside, these systems, these interconnected webs of life.
And what I love, Sonia, is that you're never too old or too young to start.
Absolutely. This is amazing. And the transformation, having done it myself twice now, the 30-day transformation is just it clears on such a deep level, and you just want to keep going. And then it's like, well, you know, instead of coffee, you're giving yourself those nutrients, and then your complexion's getting brighter, and your system feels lighter, and everything is feeling more alive, because this is the goal. You know, we don't have to age all decrepit and think that that's normal. We can do it very gracefully and slowly, and just not even have those symptoms. So yeah.
And you can see it in the white of your eyes. The white of your eyes becomes so white, so you know your organs are being cleaned. So when your eyes are very white, that means that your liver, your kidneys, and everything are being detoxified. So it shows, you see it right away. And I had so many allergies. From having all of my reflux, allergies started happening, eczema started happening. And today I have nothing. All of those issues that I had have all disappeared.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. It's been years, and and now you're helping others get on that path. And that's what you want to do. You're like, oh my God, this is so incredible. Like, again, it's not, we're talking before, it's not even about marketing or anything like that. It's just you experience it and you want to share it. And this is also part of our new, you know, Aquarian age, or the shift of the ages we're in, with wanting to share so much information. And there is a lot of information out there, but there's nothing stronger than your own experience to know that this works, and if it works, why not share? There's so many people suffering for nothing. And, you know, and habits take time. So yes, you might have to do it, you know, a few times. You might have to detox, and it's an ongoing process. And sometimes you might slip back into your coffee habit or your other habits, but you're going to feel that your body is going to know. So you become your own scientist, basically. That's what I love about it. Is I have had a lot of experiences also with different health issues. And then I went to Tas for advice on, you know, starting to feel like arthritis and these things. And I'm like, well, is this premenopause? Is this like, because my body's going through changes right now. So what can I do? And when I reached out to Tas and I tried this 30-day, I was like, okay, I'm going to continue this and share as widely as I can. So if you feel called to reach out to me or Tas for information about this, don't hesitate. We are there for, again, when you see yourselves as part of a movement that is healing from the inside out, we want as many people as possible to be those, you know, healthy systems, so that we can really be strong and fight off whatever's coming at us, that, or the toxins that have accumulated for such a long time. We are the ones that are stopping those systems and going into this higher wave of healthy and supportive and loving community of people, that this is what we do, or what we are, even, because it's our service to the bigger whole that we are.
And it's in giving that you receive.
Yes, exactly. Just breathe that in. It's in giving that you receive. So thank you so much, Tas. Thank you for this information, and I hope this helps as many people as are open to being helped. May we all heal. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you. Bye, Tas.